Once we have a sedimentary rock, how do we classify them? How do we classify sedimentary rock? Once you classify them, what are some of the names? What are some of the names of a common, sedimentary rock or rocks? If you ask these questions to yourself, you're done. Which is one page from your book or notes. What is a sedimentary rock? How do we produce them or create them or make them? Or nature, Mother Nature makes them. And how do we classify them? And finally, what are some of the names that you are common names? Anybody want to tell me how do we produce, what are sedimentary rocks? What are sedimentary rocks? What are sedimentary rocks? Sedimentary rocks are formed from where? No? Sedimentary rocks are formed from oh boy, he said sedimentary rocks are formed from sediments. Is that right? Then why did you say so? Sedimentary rocks are formed from what?
Chemical weather.
No? Alex? Sedimentary. When I say no, you should probably put your foot down and say, why not? You should have asked that. He said he gave up right away. Sedimentary rocks are formed from sediments. Nothing wrong with that answer. That's 100% correct. So if I say, what? He should be able to say, why not? In other words, you know the answer. There is no second doubt about it. Just because I say, in other words, if I'm arguing with him, he will say, okay, because I'm the authority, right? But no, June is the one saying, what do you mean, sediments? Then he will sit there and explain to her, right? Don't you think? That should be always there. That's you. So sedimentary rocks are formed from sediments. How do we get sediments? By weathering and erosion. What is weathering and eroding? Igneous rock, metamorphic rock, sedimentary rock. They are the one weathering. Then I can ask the question, what do you mean weathering? Then you can sit there and say, the weathering process are, sunshine, rain, wind, acid rain, da 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 da. You can explain. The only thing you really need to understand in the process of this sedimentary rock formation is the compaction. Sediments will lie, in a very gentle fashion, but when you have a new layer of sediments comes on the top, the lower layer gets compacted. During the compaction, the water, gas, things like that comes out, changing the chemistry of the sediment that is already there a little bit. On the top of that, because the air and water is being squeezed out, we call it cementation. Cementation happens. Cementation means, particles come together and they get kind of glued together. How do we get glued? Two ways. Well, actually more than two ways. One of the ways is when particles come close next to each other, there is a force between them, like gluing force between them, electrical force if you want to say. Another way of looking at it is when two particles come together, there is a little bit of water left out, solution left out, they crystallizes, the cementation happens. What is the next one? During the cementation, there is something else happens too. This is called diagenesis. Diagenesis is a process in which these rocks' chemistries are changing. The chemistry of the rock changes a little bit. bigger minerals might form, new minerals will form. All this happen because of the crystallization. New crystals are formed. So sedimentation, compaction, cementation. Next to go to cementation is what we call lithification. Lithified rock. What is meant by litho? Solid. Solidified rock. Litho.